I grew up in kind of the Me Too era, and I think we've moved on, and partly because we've moved on to the trans discussion, and we've moved on from this discussion about rape culture and all these questions about women. And but I think they're still all in the water. And if you walk around a university campus, a lot of fear is instilled in young women. You know, everyone's afraid of walking home alone. All the women we read about in literature are sad and helpless. You have Marianne from Normal People, who's kind of, her trauma is what makes her a good person. And you have the fact that whenever a woman is murdered, we're asked to think of it as our problem. When Aisling Murphy horribly murdered in Ireland, young women now, 3 years later, are still thinking about this as something that crucially affects them, instead of it being a murder, as horrible it is on its own. On the smaller scale, you have sexism campaigns on campus where it says it's not flirting, it's harassment, or behind every bathroom door in a pub, you have, if you feel unsafe, ask for Angela, and you can be whiffed off in a taxi from your awkward Tinder date, which is what it says on the door. And the message always seems to be afraid. Women are always told to be afraid. And there's been a backlash against Me Too feminism. People like Mary Harrington, Louise Perry, who just as often appear on kind of self-help style podcasts as they do on political shows, because this is a message guided towards women as a backlash against the pill. And it's not just because of the health problems that come with the pill. We would all like it to be a bit better. And it's also because women are seen as too polite or too agreeable to say no to sex, and it would be easier if there were real consequences. This idea that women can have this decision, make these uncomfortable choices about who we want to sleep with, how we want to conduct our lives. Anything that is uncomfortable to navigate is bad. And this is the message you get from this bad Tinder date that you're supposed to escape by taxi, not by leaving of your own accord, or not just having the pill, being able to decide for yourself whether you want to take it. Finally, I went to a pro-life march in Dublin because I've been kind of interested in the abortion discussion in Ireland. And the first thing that's said is that more than 30,000 women have been let down since 2018. We no longer talk about, fetus. It's the focus from pro-life campaigners is not on the fetus. The focus is on the woman who's being traumatized by the decision that she has to make. The poor woman who has to make a difficult choice. And all of these different strands that are in all different sides of the political battles that women are fighting now all have this excessive focus on women's feelings and on how women feel. And rather than screaming bloody murder at women who go into abortion clinics, we're suddenly patronizingly concerned for them. I think Julie said before that what unites us is fear, which I find rather depressing as a thing that supposedly binds women together. And I think the crux of this whole thing is that women are the ones asking for these things. Women are the ones asking for safe spaces on campus. They're at the forefront of harassment campaigns. And I get it. And even in more small C conservative spaces, there's this desire to have those choices taken back from women because it's too bad that women aren't having kids. And this is not because women are choosing differently. It's because women are unable to make decisions about how they want to live their lives. Mary Wollstonecraft, who I've otherwise found to be a bit of a bore, she doesn't seem to kind of have any fun built into her feminism, but she says that when women are slaves to their own feelings, they're more likely to be subjugated to the feelings of others. And I think the fight for our generation, for my generation of young women, because I really think we have it very good. I really think that all the women who fought these battles for women's freedoms, all the things that Heather mentioned before, that we have these things. And I think it's important that we have these decisions back about which dodgy one-night stands we want to pursue, what risks we want to take, how we want to be mothers, what we want to do. Because we can, and that we challenge ourselves to be clear about what we want, that we can actually say no to sleeping with a man, despite that being an uncomfortable, awkward thing to do. And crucially, we shouldn't do this by downplaying the difficulty of the decisions that we have to make. Things like having an abortion don't have to be a kind of simple, oh, it's just a clump of cells. It can be a really harrowing decision to make, but I still think that it is one women should be able to have. From small scale rejecting someone, navigating the murky waters of the modern dating scene, which really can be quite jarring. But by raising the bar for what we think women can handle, and then we demand control of the fundamental and consequential choices that radically alter the course of our lives, not just the small ones, not just the ones that don't really matter. But I think that all starts with asking for it. And right now, I think women are falling at that very first hurdle. And I think the first thing women really need to be free is the desire to be free. And I think we need to fight for that real freedom that gives women back actual choices. And that's where I think my generation can make a difference in this battle.
Thank you, Felice. Okay.